Honorable Kavidas Ramanu, Minister of Environment, Solid Waste Management and Climate Change, Mr. Jonathan Coelho, Public Affairs Officer, U.S. Embassy Mauritius and U.S. Embassy Seychelles, Mrs. Angela Schies, the Channel Community Manager, Google, Mr. Grégory Martin, Chargé de Mission Coopération, Région Réunion, Mrs. Pamela Dundu, Eco-Counselor and National Coordinator, GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP Mauritius, Mr. François Marc, founder of the Reuse Revamp Initiative, partners and collaborators involved in this initiative, our distinguished online participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, a very good morning to you all. I am deeply honored and privileged to stand before you today as the Master of Ceremony for this momentous occasion, the official launching of the Reuse Revamp initiative in the beautiful and vibrant nation of Mauritius. This initiative represents a bold leap forward in the realm of environmental sustainability, particularly in the management of electronic waste, often referred to as e-waste. In the era where our planet's health and sustainability are at the forefront of global concerns, the Reuse Revamp initiative is a beacon of hope, a symbol of innovation, and a testament to our collective commitment to forging a more sustainable future for all. The mission of a Reuse Revamp initiative is simple, yet profoundly impactful: to curb e-waste by extending the lifespan of laptops through innovative refurbishment techniques. This initiative is not just about repurposing electronics. It is about embracing the circular economy model, where the ethos of reduce, reuse, recycle becomes a way of life. Reuse Revamp envisions a world where our actions are in harmony in the environment, where sustainability is the guiding principle, and where we tread lightly on the earth, our only home. One of the most remarkable aspects of this initiative is its dedication to education and empowerment. The Reuse Revamp initiative recognizes that true change begins with knowledge. Through this initiative, users will be equipped with the understanding and skill they need to embrace the Chrome OS and navigate the digital world sustainably. Education, after all, is the key that unlocks the door to a brighter and more sustainable future. Ladies and gentlemen, this incredible journey towards a more environmentally conscious world will unfold in three transformative phases. Phase 1, educating for a sustainable future. Phase 2, accelerating recycling of laptops. And Phase 3, rental services, launch and pre-subscriptions. As we stand at the cusp of this remarkable journey, let us remember that the Reuse Revamp initiative is not just about laptops or electronics. It's about the future we build for ourselves and generations to come. It's about the legacy of responsible stewardship we leave for our planet. So let us unite in our commitment to a more sustainable, more environmentally conscious world. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can be the change makers, the innovators, and the champions of a brighter, cleaner, and a more sustainable future. Thank you for your attention, and let's start the official launching of the Reuse Revamp initiative. Thank you for your attention.
Electronic gadgets propel our world forward, yet when their time comes, where do they find their resting place? Each year, a staggering 50 million tons of e-waste accumulate, outweighing the entirety of all airliners ever manufactured. Only a fraction is repurposed. While the rest languishes in decay, our hunger for new tech knows no bounds. But can our planet endure this cycle of machines designed to fail? Envision a realm where gadgets are forged for endurance, conceived with an eye on perpetuity. A domain where restoration and enhancement are the standard, not the exception. Picture a circular economy that reveres the worth of each component. Every circuitry where devices are fashioned to be disassembled, their parts reborn and repurposed, breathing vitality into what was once forsaken. Upscaling becomes not just a goal, but a fundamental principle. We call for industries that champion sustainability, dedicating resources to research and innovation, crafting products destined to withstand the sands of time, products that evolve into cherished companions, not fleeting novelties. Policies must emerge, fostering responsible creation and consumption, holding manufacturers accountable for the entire lifespan of their creations. And as you procure your tech, ponder its ultimate destination. Envision its expedition beyond your grasp, foresee the resonance of your choice. Opt for devices that harmonize with a vision of a mended planet, a realm where e-waste is curtailed, where resources are preserved, where innovation serves not only the present, but also the posterity. Together, we possess the power to reshape the course of our technological legacy, to forge a route toward sustainability and guardianship. Let us seize this moment to safeguard our planet, ensuring that forthcoming generations inherit a world deserving of preservation. Use more, and let it be a beacon guiding our way to a better, more sustainable future. Upscaling, both in technology and conscience, becomes the cornerstone of our journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, now let's delve into the heart of our program with a series of insightful presentations and addresses by our esteemed speakers. Each speaker today brings a unique perspective on technology, education, sustainability, and innovation. We kick off this morning with a topic that is at the core of our mission: empowering education, bridging the digital divide. Please welcome Dr. Mylène Bamboche-Lecoq from the University of Mauritius. Thank you. I think we can give her a applause.
Merci. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Dr. Mylène Lecoq-Bamboche, lecturer in psychology from the University of Mauritius. Thank you, François and team, for inviting me to say a few words this morning. I have known Mr. François Marc for some time now, in between our update conversations about our common projects and also our collegiality and advice with regards to our respective works. One of my areas of specialization is educational psychology and teacher training. François is in technology and education. So I hope you are all guessing what's the common denominator of our conversations. Our primary topic of discussion was education. But of course, education is a vast word. More specifically, we discussed about how technological tools could help enhance our learners' educational experiences. The COVID-19 pandemic brought all of us as humans to rethink many aspects of our lives, and education and learning have been impacted in negative and positive ways. This difficult period humanity faced has served as a reset, reboot button for many of us in our respective domains. For me, it was how to facilitate the radical and abrupt shift to 100% online learning and how to keep learners engaged in their tasks given the unprecedented situation they were facing with their families. And ultimately, François and I very often, if not most of the time, discussed inequalities and underprivileged communities. Access to technology or even assistive technology in learning for some has been problematic as well. The COVID-19 pandemic and the radical shift to using in many situations online tools have put some burden on many families from a low socioeconomic background. Before the pandemic, some underprivileged students who didn't have a laptop, for instance, to use, could use one in libraries, and the pandemic hit, they could not do this anymore. Families who didn't own a laptop and even, their mobile phones did not have technological configurations for them to follow classes or do and submit their works. It was quite problematic. As a response, some institutions tried to look for solutions to this, while the majority of these students could not be provided with any technological medium for causes of financial constraints again. And so our students struggled, and many are still struggling now. Alongside, we have other people who are financially capable to keep up with the latest technological tools. How many of us have some old smartphones, laptops sleeping in a drawer or even in our garage, and that we don't even know how to dispose of them? It is the reality. Many of us have these objects piling up in our houses. The issue of climate change is also forcing us to rethink our daily lives, to optimize the use of our personal belongings, and to rethink how we manage wastes in our homes. All this is giving us the opportunity to pose the following questions. 1. How can access to technological tools be facilitated in an equitable way? Second, how can the notion of circular economy be incorporated in this ease of access? Third, how can this act of bridging the digital divide be done in a sustainable and responsible way, even content-wise? As a professional in the education sector, dealing with inequity and empowerment, I look forward to working together in understanding in supporting projects such as the Reuse Revamp initiative, which will bring answers to our questions and help us in developing new habits with regards to the disposal of our old e-wastes, and also bringing a more sustainable and responsible mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your inputs, Dr. Mylène Bamboche-Lecoq. Up next, we have a forward-thinking introduction to Chrome OS and Chrome OS Flex. Join us in welcoming Angela, the Channel Community Manager, EMEA, at Chrome OS Google. The floor is yours, Angela.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. I will quickly bring up some slides. Or Nick, do you want to run the slides? What works best?
Yeah, I'm happy to run the slides.
Perfect. So good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having us. I wish I could be there in person. Mauritius sounds like indeed a wonderful location. Unfortunately, the travel from Munich, Germany was too far, but happy to introduce you to Chrome OS and Chrome OS Flex virtually this morning. So why are we here today, right? And in my short introduction, it's really about showing you how you can maximize sustainability and the sustainable value with Chrome OS and Chrome OS Flex. And after that, I have the pleasure to hand over to my colleague, Ollie, who will then also show you our Google tools to make this happen. And we have our wonderful partner, DigiCloud Africa, going a bit more into the details of what Chrome OS Flex is. So first of all, why are we here? Because it's really about making a conscious cloud-first choice. And that is to really then benefit the planet, because after all, we only have one planet, right? But then also, it should benefit the people, us, students, teachers, the businesses out there. And then also, it should benefit the profitability. If you look at how much savings is actually possible with cloud-first technology, and also then with reusing old computers, it's huge. And this is for now and also then for the future. So let me quickly start by showing you how Google is actually committed to sustainability as a company, but then also specifically as when it comes to education. So first of all the tools that our developers here at Google develop or create are actually powered by the most energy efficient cloud, the Google Cloud worldwide. It's a carbon neutral cloud, and this also very much goes for our company. So Google has been carbon neutral as of 2007, but we have ambitious goals. So by 2030, we want to be carbon free. And this is actually very important also when we look at our partners and suppliers that we work with. We have established strict sustainability criteria for all of our partners that they must adhere to. And then by addressing sustainability on a global scale, we can actually help create more equity around education. This can be done by ensuring populations at risk aren't treated unfairly, because there is, of course, in some countries, environmental degradation. And this is what we want to help to actually decrease. So if we then look closer at education and how we're going to do this, it's just together that we can do it. That's very clear, right? So here at Google, we have the Google for Education team, and together we want to boost learning and sustainability to really make an impact and to transform education. So one example on how we're doing this is actually with the use of Chromebooks. So Chromebooks are actually very sustainable devices. They're built to last, right? First of all, they run on the OS that was born in the cloud, reduces also then the energy consumption, and is actually here to stay for now up to 10 years that you would get security updates. So it's not only sustainable, it's also a very secure choice, because there have been 0 ransomware attacks, which is huge when it comes to education and of course for businesses. And then there is different form factors for Chromebooks. So any use case, any laptop that you would need, you would actually be able to use it. So it's the regular producers, the regular Acer, HP, Open, Lenovo, and so on that you know. But then one very important thing is the AI that comes into play, which also then helps to reduce the energy consumption. So that is another thing that we want to highlight a bit more in detail when we go forward. Also when you look at the tools that you can use on a Chromebook. Last but not least, and this is going to be the main topic for today, there is the option to reduce e-waste, because the most sustainable device is the one that is already existing, and this is what we can all help with if we use the existing devices and then flex them to give them a new life instead of just throwing them away and creating e-waste. So let me just finish here with some numbers, right? We actually have a big ecosystem and user base out there. So there's more than 15 million users of Chromebooks who use our tools every day in education. And that makes Chromebooks the number one device globally. But more important than that, there is also a lot of opportunity to create, collaborate, and communicate with the Google tools, that is Google Workspace for Education. And I have now the privilege to hand over to Ollie, who will then also talk you through education and the Google technologies a bit more in detail when it comes to AI. So thank you everybody, and now over to you, Ollie.
Great stuff.
Thank you,
Nick,
Angela.
I am going to take over because I'm going to do some live demos here as well, if that's okay. Perfect.
Yes, that's
Okay,
fine.
great.
Yeah.
So welcome everybody. It's great to be with you. Like Angela, I'm gutted I couldn't be in Mauritius in person. I'm stuck in rainy England today, where it's very cold and just not very pleasant. My role is Senior Solutions Engineer all across Europe, Middle East and Africa. So what that means is I support schools and countries, ministries of education all over Europe, Middle East and Africa with deploying technically Google Workspace and Chrome OS. In a former life, I was a maths teacher for 8 years, so a very different job now, but I'm truly passionate about the impact that technology can have in the classroom. So it's very well being able to give every student a device or access to a device. That is kind of level one. Level two is kind of what I'm talking about today, which goes through some of the key features within Google Workspace for Education, which is free for schools, by the way. There is some paid additional features that schools can go for, but what you can do once you have Google for Education in your schools. So I'm going to focus on AI in Google for Education. AI, I don't know about you, but it's something that seems to be everywhere on the news, Twitter, everywhere I look, people are talking about AI and the impact it's going to have in education as well. So in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so, I want to kind of think about with you how AI will impact our life today, the way we teach, and how our students will learn in the future. So thinking about how we use AI today, it's worth just at the very beginning level setting the difference between AI and machine learning. And so everyone has very different descriptions for this. But I like to think of it like this. So AI is the science of making things smart, whereas machine learning is a technique that's used to develop AI. Now, if anybody's done a computer science degree in the room, this is very flippant, being able to take years of research into just 2 sentences, but this helps me understand the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning. And to make that even more simplistic, I'm going to go through and give a very quick demo of how Google has been using large language models for some time. Now, this is a game that Google created many years ago called Quick Draw. A quick show of hands, I can see the room. Has anybody ever played a game called Pictionary before? 1 or 2 I can see, and a few on the call. Okay, so this is basically Pictionary, where you play a game with Google, and you trade whilst you play a neural network. So I'll go through and I have to draw a chandelier. Blimey, this could be terrible. A live demo, let's see this in action. And you'll see that as I am doing this, Google is trying to predict what I'm drawing. So I've got, and you get the idea. So I have to go through 6 of these. And what happens is after you've gone through 6 of these drawing sessions, Google actually then builds that into a large learning model. And if I go back and just review this, you end up with one of the world's largest language models of sketches. So this is the world's largest doodling set. So you'll see here that an apple, for example, Literally millions of people have played this game, and Google now has this huge repository of Apple doodles they can then go and use. And you may be asking, what's the point of this? It's a really valid question. You can then apply that technology and that AI to other tools. So for example, if I am a teacher at the front of the class and I'm trying to draw an elephant, for example, you'll see that I was a maths teacher and not an art teacher. But what's happening is at the top, it's predicting what I'm trying to draw, and then with one click, a teacher can go through and transform that into a nicer sketch of an elephant, or even in the future, a full picture. So this is an example of how we can train models and then use them in practice. And it's something Google's been doing for many years in things that are a bit more useful than just sketches. So many of you in the room probably have a Gmail account, and for years we've been using artificial intelligence to detect spam. So 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago, when email was coming into fruition, IT admins would have to set very distinct rules of keywords to look for, to block spam. But you now may not know, but Google blocks it's millions and millions of spam messages per day. And it's all done through artificial intelligence training models on what to detect, what might be phishing, what might be malware, etc. On top of that, if you use Gmail as well, you may have seen this before, where you're typing something and then one quick tap of the tab or swipe right on your mobile phone and it actually completes your sentence for you. And again, it's just through predicted large language models of what you might want to write next. So a massive time saver. And then one of my favorite Google apps is actually Google Photos. Hands up in the room if anybody uses Google Photos. Really powerful tool that just backs up all your photos automatically. But even better, it allows you to go ahead and, for example, if I wanted to find all the pictures of my dog, I could just go through and search dog. And again, it uses LLMs on image detection to find all the pictures of dogs. You'll see that actually this picture here is in the middle a picture of my cat, but he is the size of a dog, so I will let Google Photos off. And it pretty cleverly even picks up in the top left, you'll see a picture just of my dog's rear hind, and somehow it cleverly managed to detect that that was a dog as well. So really, really powerful technology. So this has all been fairly humorous so far, but it's quite important. So here at Google, we like to think that we're part of the kind of fourth industrial revolution. And AI is, as we're already seeing, truly transforming not only how education is happening, but also in the world around us, right? So we're seeing writers in Hollywood going on strike, for example, because they are worried about how AI is going to be the script writers of the future. So I think it's really important that we embrace this and fully understand this as educators as well. And people often ask me when I come to events and say, hey, why is Google so far behind on AI? I've been using ChatGPT for a year or so. And it's worth reminding ourselves that Google has been the pioneer in AI since 2015 and even before. And back in 2017, Google invented something called the Transformer, which is the T in ChatGPT. It's a large language model framework that we invented and open sourced, and many other kind of companies have built off. So we really are at the forefront of this AI revolution. So that brings us on to how AI has been impacted by Google Workspace and Chrome to some extent to affect how we teach today. So during the pandemic, as my esteemed colleague mentioned it before, there was many kind of lessons being taken at home. And I don't know about you, but I've got 3 kids, I've got a dog. Sometimes home was a noisy place, and the ability to just set this off with a touch of a button and any background noise was automatically cancelled out, meaning I could have a clear, crystal clear conversation with my colleagues or students during the pandemic. On top of that, we also got live translated captions. So I don't know, Francois, if we have closed captions on this meeting, but it would have been absolutely possible for mes mots to be traduits en français, si tu veux, live as I speak. I'm not sure if that's been enabled, but it's a really powerful tool, especially for me as I interact with colleagues all over Europe, Middle East, and Africa. On top of that, we've also got class transcripts. So Google Meet, imagine you're a university professor delivering a lesson. With a tick of a button, you can actually have your entire lecture not only recorded, but also fully transcribed, meaning that if a student missed the lecture and wanted to go back and find the element where the professor talked about photosynthesis, they could just search and skip to that very point in video. So really, really powerful tools. And on top of that, on Chromebooks, we have this tool called Screencast, which is again really great for teachers, the ability to record a lesson. It has their video in the corner, and also again, like before, does a full transcript of exactly what the teacher was saying. So they're talking about Pythagoras as an example, a student can search for the word hypotenuse and jump straight to that point in the video. So really powerful and a really great accessibility tool as well, to have the teacher's voice and their transcription live as they go through. Then on top of that, as I mentioned before, I was a teacher, and I remember teaching a class of 32 or 40 students at once was quite difficult, having a clear understanding about what they were all working on at the same time. Practice Sets is a new feature that allows a teacher to set a worksheet, almost, a live interactive worksheet for their whole class, and they get clear visibility of exactly what's happening in real time. So if they see that all the class are struggling with problem 8, for example, they can stop the class, bring them back, do a bit of teaching, and then go through there. Likewise, they can pick up on individual students who might be struggling and go and offer them some one-to-one support. On top of that, Practice Sets also includes some AI here. So just by uploading an old worksheet and converting it to a practice set, Google does some AI understanding about what the topic of those questions are, and then really cleverly, it provides automatic hints if a student gets stuck on that question. So here, for example, we've got PEMDAS or BIDMAS is a mathematics problem. We can see the students got it wrong, and they have a live tutor in their pocket. So the teacher has to do nothing here, but it's purely equitable and giving access to all to a live on-demand tutor directly on their Chromebook or any other device that they're using. Then on top of that, we've got a few things. So assisted writing in docs. I don't know if any of you are big spreadsheet fans, but sometimes I love spreadsheets but struggle writing formulas. So if you're writing a spreadsheet and you see a huge load of errors, actually what will happen is Google will now prompt you and give you suggestions on how to improve your formula based on what it thinks you're trying to achieve, again, using AI. And then plagiarism, we know is a hot topic as well, particularly in the universities. We have a tool called Originality Reports, which again uses AI to scan student work and see whether that was detected anywhere on the web. Really, really powerful. We've actually got this additional feature where you can detect peer plagiarism, so you can compare student submissions with other students in your organisations, because we know that sometimes little Johnny might have a piece of work very similar to his friend Tommy, and this would flag that feature as well. Again, uses AI, no additional work for the teacher. There's also a comment bank, so a teacher can very quickly save comments and reuse those. AI will predict what they're trying to write about. And then on top of that, we've got Classroom Analytics, which is a really powerful tool for school leaders or even country level leaders to get some analysis on what's happening and key insights on which classes or groups of schools might need additional support based on comparing them to their peers. And beyond just teaching and learning, there's some really fantastic features available around security. So Angela already mentioned earlier that on Chrome OS we've had 0 reported ransomware attacks, which is quite a phenomenal stat. We see in Europe in particular that the average ransomware payout for just a small primary school is around €1 million. So these are quite impactful attacks. And we also know that there's fines and huge losses of confidence if data is accidentally shared beyond the organisation. So I'll give a very quick example of how this works in action. Let's imagine that I am a teacher and I've got a spreadsheet and I am going to add in, maybe I'm going on a school trip and perhaps I'm going to go through and copy some student health data onto here as an example. So you'll see that I've got just some student names and I've got some health conditions. Now I, as a school leader, decide I don't want any student information with their health information being shared externally. So AI, as an example, has automatically detected that this contains health data. Again, you can just toggle this on in your admin console. It's restricted this document, and furthermore, it's now impossible for the teacher to go and share this with somebody external. So if I try to share this with my Google account, for example, I'll be told I can't share this with external users outside of my domain because it contains sensitive data. So things like this, again, are really powerful security elements of AI, and we've got loads more to discuss in the future with you, but I don't have time today, unfortunately. Then on top of that, we've also got this. So we know that most malware comes in from emails. With one tick in a school's admin console, they can turn on something called Security Sandbox, and it means that any attachment to an email is virtually executed on a Google server before it's even delivered to the end user. And if we detect any malware, we just either don't deliver it or report it to the admin. So really powerful tools. And then my last teaching and learning feature I want to share with you today is a really powerful tool called Readalong. We launched it in 2020. Some of you may have young students who've already used this tool. It's available on Android, iOS, but also Chromebooks as well. And it's essentially a personalized reading tutor. It's currently in 9 languages: English, Arabic, Portuguese, Spanish, I believe printed on the roadmap soon as well. It's a really powerful tool that students have been using for a long time. And we've now got this additional teacher insights as well. So instead of a teacher having to sit with all 30 students and listen to them read one at a time, they can set a reading assignment to all their students. The students read it to their Chromebook. They get automatic assistance from their AI tutor, called Delia, who will give them feedback if they get words right or wrong, and encouragement. But then the teacher can then go ahead and see all their students' reading data and track their progress over time. So really, really powerful, particularly for English as an additional language learners in your schools. Really, really powerful. I won't go through all this, but teachers can go through, add it directly within Google Classroom. And this is your tutor, Delia, who gives students support if they struggle, but also some really nice encouragement and badges and stars when they get it right. A really powerful tool. Conscious I'm running out of time, but I would really recommend you practicing this. So just to clarify and recap, since 2015, we've put AI directly built into our products to really support teachers, students, learners, normal consumers as well, just with their day-to-day lives, rather than just having a standalone ChatGPT tool, which is really powerful. And we do have something equivalent called Bard, which we'll talk about now. So in the final few minutes, we'll think about how students might learn in the future. We've already started implementing better kind of algorithms and AI into our search, for example. So if a user asks a question, instead of just giving a number of search results, we can use Bard, which is our back-end large learning model, similar to give actual structured responses to users. And then going further, we've actually got a few other features. So within Gmail, we have a tool called Duet, which brings a lot of the ChatGPT style functionality that you get from Bard into Google Workspace services. So the ability to go ahead and automatically write your email could be a massive time saver. Then likewise in Google Docs, you could actually go through and generate a school announcement, newsletter, project plan in a matter of seconds, and it will actually go through, write all the content for you, and you can customize that if you wish as well. In Google Slides, we're adding the ability to help you visualize with custom images. So if you want, for example, the image of a giraffe standing in front of the Eiffel Tower in a beautiful watercolor, you can go ahead and ask it, and it will generate that for you within just a matter of seconds. So really powerful for student creativity as well. And then we're also making it much easier for schools to integrate with AI applications in the Google Workspace Marketplace. So Francois, I'm sorry if I've spoken over time, but I just wanted to summarize and finish with this, that we are the pioneers in AI, but it's really important, particularly with student data and those of users under 18, that we're responsible with it. So we have been cautious and purposeful with our release of AI into tools. We have a heap of responsible AI ethics. We've got around 600 or so of the leading AI researchers working for Google, and we work across many kind of ethical boards to make sure that when we are implementing these AI tools, they're responsible and ethical, particularly for us in education when we deal with under 18 users. So that's it. Our aim is to integrate technology seamlessly into the teaching and learning experience, and we believe that advances in technology help create a future in which learning is personal, flexible, and fundamentally accessible, giving teachers time back as well. Thank you for your time today. I've really enjoyed speaking with you. Over to you.
Thank you, Oli, for your contribution and great insight. We will now get ready to witness the empowering role of Google Chrome OS beyond education with a live demo. So Nick and Candice, if you are ready, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Hi everyone, my name is Nick. I'm a customer engineer at DigiCloud Africa, Google's distributor in Africa. And just thank you to Oli, that was a very exciting presentation. It's always exciting to see and hear about what Google is working on in the latest technologies and how they're just helping, empowering the world as a whole. So I think experienced technology fail us at one point or another in our lives. We've had our own interesting stories to tell in the business and the education world, especially. And on the one hand, things are getting better and things are getting easier. But on the other hand, things are getting more technical and harder to keep devices safe and up to date, to keep your users safe. And the demands we put on technology is ever increasing. The landscape of how we work and educate has completely changed in the last couple of years. And although I'm a technical person and I love technology as much as the next, but every time I have to reinstall Windows on a work laptop, I get a headache. Having to format the user's machine, install Windows again, the updates, the drivers, copying the data back and forth, backups after backups after backups. And not to mention the personalized settings the user had and their selected preferences on the device over months, the printer configurations, the webcam drivers, and their Outlook. So while you're busy with all of that, some voice in the back of your head tells you that you're getting too old for this. And they're not exactly wrong. So now let's just put a pin in that scenario for a moment and talk about Google and their perspective on technology. There are remarkable ways of innovating in technology at the same time as making our lives easier. So during the early days of 2006, there was a design program called SketchUp, and I was amazed at how simple and easy it was to use. Designing the dimensions of a furniture piece or plans for a house couldn't be easier. And some of you might even know this program. Imagine my surprise years later when I was told that this SketchUp program is actually owned by Google. YouTube and Gmail requires no introduction and is synonymous with Google. And Google Drive, Docs, and Sheets have led to the change with online collaboration, forcing some of the biggest tech giants in the industry to try and follow their footsteps. But what came before Google Drive, Docs, and Sheets was the Chrome browser. It had to come before these cloud-native tools because we didn't have a browser capable of doing what online collaboration would demand of it. We just had the Internet Explorer. And although we didn't like it, we were still using it. Most companies were using it. We didn't know any better. But almost overnight, the Chrome browser turned the Internet Explorer into a meme on the internet, and virtually the entire world adopted the Chrome browser organically. No one was trained on how to use it. You didn't have to follow a YouTube tutorial or an instruction manual. And this is what's possible when you build a great product with a grand vision of doing something that hasn't been done before, like collaborating on the same spreadsheet at the same time with multiple colleagues, while you switch from one device to another without losing your work. You also know you're getting old when you start using phrases like kids today, but the kids today will never know the pain we experienced in the early 2000s. They were born into a world where the Chrome browser just always existed, and it changed their perception of how technology should be. It just should work. It just should be easy. It should just connect to the internet. It should just sync across all my devices. And this new generation entering the workforce, it should just be easy to manage and deploy these devices. It should just be secure by design. Now take the Chrome browser and imagine it could power an entire laptop. No operating system needed, because it is an operating system. That's what a Chromebook is. A laptop running on Google's Chrome OS with remarkable speed, security, battery life, and many other features. A completely new operating system designed for a modern world with a new standard of safety and security. Now imagine you could run Chrome OS on virtually any device, old or new, and you have a pretty good picture of what Chrome OS Flex is. It's the operating system for the next generation with their sometimes unreasonable or unrealistic expectations of what technology should be. And it's easy, it's secure, and it's impervious to ransomware attacks. Built with businesses in mind that need to manage fleets of devices, or education institutions that have hundreds or thousands of students and devices that need to manage, update, and secure, all managed from Google's Cloud Console for easy administration and easy deployments. So with Chrome OS Flex, you can now take all the hardware and breathe new life into them, and instead of shipping the e-waste off to another country to deal with. So Chrome OS Flex is a more sustainable solution for your devices and our future, reducing battery consumption, extending the number of years we get from our hardware. So on this slide and the next, we have a customer story from the Nordic Choice Hotels with over 200 hotel chains in Scandinavia, Finland, and the Baltics, and thousands of employees. And they needed to upgrade a large part of their fleet of devices that grew more unmanageable over the years as they acquired more companies in more location and needed to unify everyone under the same umbrella of technologies while dealing with the many vulnerabilities that existed in their disparate IT estate. But I don't want to steal their thunder. Let's hear directly from the team
have a people, planet, profit motto, and we were in a situation where we needed to upgrade a lot of our computer fleet. We started looking into Chrome OS Flex, and we figured out this could actually be a game changer for us.
Chrome OS Flex made a lot of financial sense as well as sustainability because it meant we can use our devices for longer. Hundreds of kilos of CO2 are connected to each new computer is being built.
The security aspect of it was definitely a very important aspect for us. We have around 17,000 employees from 200 different nationalities. We have 70 different languages out there. To give all of them security training would be a massive job. So for us to give them a software that would just let them do their job without having to be a trained security expert was a great opportunity for us. We were on our way to do that when we were hit by a ransomware attack.
I woke up early in the morning and I could see that I had 3 or 4 calls from our IT director.
I remember saying that it was my biggest nightmare that we were going to be attacked.
My first thought was, well, now we are out of business for some weeks, maybe months. That would have been a disaster.
What happens when you're hit by a ransomware attack? First thing you do is that you shut down the internet lines. You cut your company off from the world.
Out of our 220 hotels, 90% of them were affected. It was approximately 5,000 computers.
They had no access to customer data, no access to key card systems, payment systems, nothing really. They had to do everything manually. The decision to migrate was sort of made within 12 hours of the attack. We could actually fast track Chrome OS Flex, and instead of cleaning every Windows PC, just converting them.
Chrome OS Flex is so easy to deploy. We could send out all the information to all the hotels really easily.
All the hotels went out and bought a USB stick, downloaded the software, and then we made just a one-pager on how to do it. And then they started migrating all the computers themselves. It was amazing to watch.
From that morning, it took a little over 48 hours to deploy 2,000 computers.
Through Chrome OS Flex, we knew that we could keep the business running with the booking system up and going.
We set up things once and it just works. We can deploy new applications in a matter of minutes. It's kind of magical from an IT admin perspective.
Deployment of Chrome OS Flex really saved us. When you have a stable, safe and low hassle operating system at the hotels, that really, really affects our employees and of course the guests as well.
I really, really like the fact that we can use technology, innovation, and sustainability together.
Together with the research company PX3, we have seen that over the next 8 years, we will save as much as 1.5 million kilos of CO2. That amounts to 2,000 acres of mature forests. And in addition, it saves 20% electricity for our computer usage.
We're actually making a real difference to the world we're living in.
Great. So it's always inspiring to see a company coming together and emerging stronger and better after such a cyber attack. And Chrome OS Flex is able to power an array of varied workers. Remote and hybrid workers jumps to mind first, where they work from anywhere else. So Chrome kiosk devices in factories and retail stores, entire contact centers powered by Chrome OS Flex. And with Chrome Enterprise Upgrade, you can manage all of these devices all in the cloud, easily enroll devices, and you can enforce security policies on all of your devices from the cloud console. There are up to 500 plus configurable policies to set, from modern single sign-on to printer and network configurations and remotely installed apps, enable and disable devices, and promote into these devices from your cloud console with ease. Reports on all of these enrolled devices and community metrics. See who signed into these devices and instantly have access to the crash reports and analytics. Configure the network settings you only, so for an example that you only want to be able to, for those devices to connect from your company owned network, schedule automatic updates that takes place at a convenient time, not when you're rushing to put a presentation together for your executives. And the updates are the best part really. It updates in the background, seamlessly. Secure boot checks that the Chrome OS Flex image is from a known source, Google, and this helps prevent unsigned third-party operating systems from running on these devices. If your older hardware comes with TPM, the Trusted Platform Module, which is a little chip embedded on new devices, then Chrome OS Flex supports this as well. Of course it does. So you can also mass deploy the Chrome OS Flex devices in a whole variety of industry-supported ways, or simply put the Chrome OS Flex on a USB flash stick and plug it into that laptop that you've given up on. So lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show us a video. It's a little bit difficult doing a live demo on how to flex a device, because the device I'm on, I have to reboot, and you can't do that while you're in a video call. So Oli was kind enough to record us a video of how you flex a Chrome OS device. And then I'm going to hand it over to Candace afterwards. So I'm just going to pause the video here and kind of speak over it. So first what you do, you just plug in the flash stick with the Chrome OS Flex on it, and then you boot off of the flash stick. So instead of booting off of the hard drive that's got your old operating system installed, you're just booting off of the flash stick. And what you see is that it loads the first page of Chrome OS Flex, where you'll go through the installation. So you simply click Get Started, and here I'm just going to pause the video again. So you're basically making a choice. Am I ready to format the device and install Chrome OS Flex on it? And that's flexing a device, then it will run Chrome OS Flex going forward. Or do I want to try it first? So I'm going to keep the old operating system running on it. I'm just trying out Chrome OS Flex to see how it works on my device, and that will be the second option. In this case, we're just jumping in with both feet. We'll be installing Chrome OS Flex on the device. So it gives you a warning message. It's about to wipe the device and then install Chrome OS Flex on it. And this will take a couple of minutes. So it's wiping the device, it's reformatting the hard drive, and then it's installing Chrome OS Flex software on it. And then what we'll do is we'll have a look at how easy it is to enroll these devices into your domain or your school or university. So this will take a couple of minutes. The video is obviously sped up ever so slightly. We don't want to watch the spinning wheel for too long. Let's just give it a moment. And there, so installation complete, and now the device just goes through a reboot. So you've wiped the hardware, you've rebooted the device, and now first thing you do is you connect to your Wi-Fi. And after you've connected to the Wi-Fi, and it's almost too quick, I think we missed it. Let me just skip back 5 seconds. So there at the bottom in the corner, you've got a little button that says Enterprise Enrollment. That Enterprise Enrollment button is how you enroll the device. So you boot it up, connect to the internet, click the Enterprise Enrollment button, and this is now the administrator of your company running Workspace, or your education institution running Google Workspace for Education. That administrator signs in with their account, and that tells the program who you are and which domain to connect you to. So this is going through the Enterprise Enrollment. That actually wasn't sped up. That is how quickly it is to enroll this device. So I've just paused it again. So it takes really just a couple of seconds to enroll the device, and then that device syncs all of your policies from your cloud configuration, and now the user is signing into Chrome. So whether you're running Chrome or whether you're running Chrome OS Flex, this is the home screen when you power up the device. You pull into the device, and that's it. You're done. So a simple username and a password, and I'm signed into my device, and it's enrolled into my company domain, and I can start using it straight away. And that's literally how easy it is to enroll Chrome OS Flex device. So Oli, thank you for recording the video. To all of you, thank you for the time. I'm going to hand it over to Candace next, who's going to take us through some change management and training aspects.
I think there has been a slight change. We are going to listen to Mark Kevin. Is Mark Kevin ready?
So I see that Kevin is online. He's just muted with his camera off at the moment.
I am ready. Hello everyone. From SOAS, congratulations, and Team Google, thanks for supporting this amazing initiative. François and I have come a very long way when he first won our very first Global Startup Award for Mauritius in the space of EdTech. And this is just to tell you how his journey has spanned, how passionate he's been in the educational space. And in Francois and I share the same vision, the same mission when it comes to education in Africa, when it comes to education in the underserved communities. I think that's one of the reasons why startup partner with Revamp to reuse, to use the e-waste, and more importantly, discuss, see how circular economy can benefit the underprivileged. I have a very strong recycling background, and when Francois introduced me to this initiative, I had never turned back. So I think today is really about looking, with what Google is doing, it's really about looking how can we really use, a sustainable means to enhance our education in the continent. So many underserved communities don't go to school. And even if they do, they don't have access to the resources that they need to have a better education. Because why? It's very expensive, data is expensive, everything is expensive when it comes to Africa. So reuse, revamp, upskilling the laptop, reusing the e-waste, not only solve education, but it solve the community, the environment as well, in terms of sustainability. We have climate crisis that has been blowing all over the world. That are the key conversations that we are having right now. We have ocean sea disasters that are looming over the world right now. We have e-waste across everywhere, the green waste that is even traumatizing even the community and pollution. And if we can start, throwing away or littering all the way the devices from all laptops and being able to put it again into use for underserved communities, but more important, not only for underserved communities. A lot of small, medium-sized enterprises still struggle, or even some startups, even some founders with great ideas still struggle to have the right tools in terms of laptops and everything else to really do their business. As set up a startup, that's what we foster. We foster an inclusive economy, we foster a clean economy, we foster a conducive environment for entrepreneurs to flourish. Include all the resources that comes with it. And reuse revamp comes at the right time, at a time where we have really been looking forward to Africa is really pushing education, it's pushing entrepreneurship mindset, pushing a more technical environment, making sure that each and everyone have a say on the table. Whether you in any community, you should have a chance. It's really, digital divide has been a very difficult thing to combat within the African continent. And but we reuse them with the laptops and look at digital economy. I think that Africa stands a chance in the next 10 to 20 years to build its own better ecosystem when it comes to education. Again, I really appreciate the fact that Google has stepped in, has partnered with us and making sure that this information is assimilated, and making sure that reuse, revamp, the laptop can really have another lifespan. With that being said, I would really appreciate the time and appreciate Francois for all the incredible work that he's doing, the support from Mauricio, the support from the minister who is present here today, just show that we need people with the right policies to really help us make sure that this information is assimilated beyond the schools. And if Mauritius is championing, if Francois is championing as a team, we build all the other governments across the continent will follow suit. So thank you, Minister, for joining us. Thank you, Francois. Thank you, Google. Thank you for the opportunity to really be part of this. Thank you all, and have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. We will now proceed to our next speaker, who will take us on a fascinating journey into the digitalization of African oral history. I welcome Walia, I think she's ready, the founder of the African Tales Initiative in Belgium. The floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. And Francois, I would like to thank you for this invitation and to congratulate you on this very innovative platform, which I'm looking forward for our initiative to be a collaborative partner through and through, and we're very proud of your achievement. Our initiative is a practical user of technology, which is called the African Tales Initiative, and the Diaspora Initiative, dedicated to safeguarding and distinguishing and digitizing the vast and diverse cultural heritage of Africa. Our primary goal is to create a comprehensive digital archive of Africa's rich heritage. And for this, we work with teams of technology experts across the continent and also within the diaspora. And Francois is one of our technology directors for our initiative. So we are very grateful to have his presence with us. The rationale for our initiative is that the fabric of Africa's rich and diverse cultures and traditions face genuine threat. Our youth are grappling with limited access to their own cultural heritage, often overshadowed by a flood of easily accessible globalized information. As well, traditionally, elders have served as the principal bearers and transmitters of our distinctive cultural knowledge. However, with the passage of time, that brings it the context that with the inevitable transition, most of our elderly people, once they pass, our heritage will be distinct if we do not safeguard it. One of our principal activities, our cornerstone activities for the African Tales Initiative, is the annual folk story competition, which is designed for primary school pupils. This is an initiative that involves children, regardless of the age, to enter for the competition annually, and it's collaborated and coordinated by our representatives in the different regions. This year, we received more than 57 entries from 8 regions. So that's a lot of coordination, a lot of collaboration, but fortunately, we have a dynamic movement of a vibrant network, which includes a diverse spectrum of people, individuals, organizations, representing the African diaspora and the continent. Our collaborative network spans across continents, including regions such as Brazil, the Caribbean, Latin America, Europe, North America, Indian Ocean Islands, and the traditional continental regions, among others. You know, the 5 continental regions, including North Africa. So the project is really implemented in all communities of people of African descent and on the entire continent. So we have representation in all the 54 countries. We have representation in all the other regions, especially predominantly where we have the large population of Africans, such as Brazil, North America, Latin America, and the Caribbean. For our project, the technology partners are very, very key because the African Tales Initiative is committed to leveraging modern technology to preserve, archive, and share Africa's cultural heritage of stories, artifacts, languages, and practices, ensuring they are documented and made available in a digital format. Our specific collaboration with the Revamp and Reuse platform is aimed at helping us bridge the digital divide, foster skill development, and promote sustainable economic activities, aligning with our mission to preserve African heritage and strengthen community connections through storytelling and technology. Our biggest challenge at the moment, which we are hoping that with this platform, we'll be able to get some support from companies that are dealing in digital technology, especially we are in need of gadgets such as smartphones, laptops, and other technology tools to enable us implement more educational-oriented programs within the continent and in the diaspora outside Europe and North America. Because the idea of the platform, the initiative, is that we, with the school competition, we tailor that information, developing educational programs, and all these are tailored to be taught virtually. We'll also be incorporating a lot of languages to ensure that children on the African continent that don't have sufficient knowledge of the official languages can also participate in the learning programs. Because it's, we find that through the competition, the children that have been given opportunity to enter the folk stories within their local languages, they perform a lot better than children that have to use official languages. I would not want to take up much of your time, but would like to encourage anybody that's interested to join us in this transformative journey. The contribution matters in preserving Africa's vibrant heritage. And we have our website on africantales.org if you want to reach us. Otherwise, we have regular communication with Francois. And thank you so much, Francois, and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Walia. It's a privilege now to have with us today the Honorable Kavidas Ramanu, the Minister of Environment, Solid Waste Management and Climate Change, who will grace us with an official address and the launching of the Reuse Revamp initiative. The floor is yours.
Mr. Jonathan Kohler, Public Affairs Officer, U.S. Embassy, Mauritius and Seychelles. Mrs. Angela Skidget, Channel Community Manager, Google. Mrs. Pamela Dundu, Eco-Councillor and National Coordinator, GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP Mauritius. Mr. François Marc, founder of the Reuse Revamp Initiative. Mrs. Mélanie Lecoq Bambouche. Je tiens à vous saluer. Partners and collaborators involved in this initiative, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Good morning, and I thank you for inviting me to launch this laudable Reuse Revamp initiative on extending laptop life cycles and reducing e-waste. At the very outset, allow me to congratulate Mr. François Marc, the founder and CEO of Afri-EDX, a multi-award-winning edutech company, and all partners and collaborators, including the Karamji Group, Google, DigiCloud, Interactive Graphics Studios Limited, MTEL, and Mission Verte. This innovative initiative of extending the life of electronic products has been conceived by a young, dynamic, and visionary young entrepreneur. I think the youth setting the example of extending the life cycle of products with a view of decreasing waste will send the right signal to all users of products and have the tendency of discarding them too often after a short period of time. This initiative meets all the core principles of sustainable development and circular economy. By extending the lifespan of laptops and hence reducing generation of e-waste, we are in fact addressing the three pillars of sustainable development, namely the environmental, economic and social impacts, as well as the 9 R's principles of circular economy. Firstly, the environmental aspect. By extending the lives of the laptops, we are reducing the amount of e-waste generated. As you may be aware, e-waste are classified as hazardous waste due to the presence of hazardous substances including lead, mercury, arsenic, cadmium, and flame retardants. E-waste management is a growing concern today. In fact, e-waste is one of the fastest growing waste streams in the world due to rising consumer demands for electronics, short life cycles of e-products, which are rapidly overgrown due to advancing technologies. According to data from the United Nations Environment Programme, some 54 million tons of e-waste are generated globally every year, equivalent to 7 kilos of e-waste per person, and this number is predicted to double by 2050. On a global scale, only 20% of e-waste is recycled. In Mauritius as well, this scenario is so far very gloomy. Presently, only up to 2 to 5% of the 8,000 tons of e-waste generated annually is dismantled for recycling, and only 0.4% are landfill, which means that a large amount are either being stored or illegally being dumped. Ladies and gentlemen, e-waste management stands very high on this government agenda. In fact, solid waste management at large is a pressing challenge for Mauritius. Over 10 million tons of waste have already been buried at Marchico's landfill since its establishment in 1997. The landfill's capacity is reaching saturation. The government's vision is to improve its waste management by diverting up to 70% of solid waste from the country's saturated landfills. For this, we need the appropriate enabling framework. This is why the government is coming up with a series of measures regarding the solid waste sector. In fact, the recent promulgation of the Waste Management and Resource Recovery Act in April 2023 enables the shift from a linear approach into a circular economy model in the waste sector. Allow me to mention a few projects regarding solid waste. One of our ongoing initiatives is the setting up of civic amenity centers across the island. So far, 3 civic amenity centers have been constructed, and we are already operational as a transfer station of La Chaumière, La Laura, and Poudre d'Or transfer station. These civic amenity centers provide facility whereby households, commercial centers, and SMEs may dispose of specific waste such as plastic waste, paper, cotton, construction and demolition waste, waste oils, waste, wood waste, e-waste, used tires, and metal waste. With respect to electrical and electronic goods, as well as beverage containers, my ministry is working on putting in place an extended producer responsibility system to ensure that those who produce and market these products bear responsibility for the collection and processing of the resulting waste. These regulations are presently being vetted at the level of the Attorney General's Office. With the assistance of the UNDP, regulations on waste segregation at source are also being prepared and should be ready by the end of this year. Segregation of waste in 3 bins, namely for organic, recyclable waste, and residual waste, will soon be a reality. The regulatory framework will define the duties and obligations of all waste regenerators from domestic, commercial, institutional, and industrial sectors, as well as those of stakeholders such as local authorities, which will be involved in the separation and transportation of waste. Other projects underway include the setting up of an operation of integrated waste processing facility comprising a composting plant, a sorting unit, and a refuse-derived fuel plant, a used tires recycling processing facility in Mauritius, implementation of anaerobic digestion for management of organic waste, and end-of-life vehicle facility, as well as regulations for construction and demolition waste. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a global drive to move to a circular model in which the value of products, materials, and resources is maintained in the economy for as long as possible, and the generation of waste is kept to a minimum. At the local level, my ministry is striving to promote circular economy. In this endeavor, in May 2022, my ministry organized a national conference on circular economy. This workshop allowed us to raise awareness on this issue and discuss the potential of circularity in Mauritius. The latest initiative of my ministry has been the development of a roadmap and action plan for a circular economy in the Republic of Mauritius from 2023 to 2033. This roadmap has paved the way for circularity in 5 main sectors, namely waste management, agri-food, construction and real estate, consumer goods, and mobility and logistics. The objective of this roadmap and action plan is to support the transition from a linear economy to circular and resilient economy. It is a tool for change and presents a vision, defines objectives and targets, has a clear strategic plan, and includes concrete actions in the focus areas that can accelerate the transition. Allow me to share with you yet another principle put forward in the roadmap for circular economy. Circular economy through product design and sustainable production is essential to enable products and materials to circulate to a higher degree than they currently do. Producers and distributors should thus increase the quality and durability of their products and facilitate their repair, taking into account the ease of disassembly, the availability of spare parts, and the price of spare parts. We should have products with extended life cycles and intelligently designed to favor reuse, repair, recycling, repurposing, and remanufacturing. However, all these aspects depend on cultural changes and a change of mindset that need to take place. Ladies and gentlemen, hand in hand and step by step, let us all adopt the principles of circular economy. Coming back to this laudable project of reuse, revamp, this initiative is an inclusive one, leaving no one behind. By donating the upgraded laptops for educational purposes, we are helping the society. Also, by preventing unused laptops to be disposed of haphazardly, we are also protecting people from harmful substances, which might be released into the environment. Last but not least, the economic aspect. The project is creating jobs and is preventing unnecessary expenses for the purchase of new laptops. The Reuse Revamp initiative is a contribution to circular economy in the economic sector. I wish you success in this laudable initiative. By embracing a circular economy model, we'll forge ahead towards sustainability and achieve environmental harmony. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
The website of the Reuse Revamp, and I think thank you very much. So this is the first step for. In fact, this project will be phased in three steps. First, we will educate the people about the technology, because this is one the new technology. Not many people are aware of this technology, and we will help people on the first phase to understand what is the Chrome OS, how we can empower people with this, the first thing. And the second phase will be in terms of refurbishing laptops, training people, and this is where Google and with Candice, she will share with us about the trainings, and also how the third part will be our model, how we will sustain, that how we instead of selling the device, we will put it instead of a rental, which is so that we put it in terms continue the circular economy. This is the concept of this Reuse Revamp, and that we will roll out in 3 phases. Yeah. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
So we will continue with this one session with Candice, which is very important, so that we know that this technology that you saw already very very complex, very not many people know about this technology, because if you see this laptop, which is a Celeron laptop, the old one, a lot of people that have thrown away these laptops, and this laptop I will show you that how fast this laptop, after installing the Chrome OS on it. I switch it on, it is off right now. The device is off, it's switching off. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds, and the laptop is on. So let's try to do it with other devices, other OS. You will see that it's slow. Only, especially on this type of devices, which is when a lot of people they throw this away. So this device can empower a lot of people, so that we reduce a lot of waste, and we can empower in terms of education. And this will tell us about the training part in a few seconds. But the more important thing that is that we can empower more with less, with the rise or in terms of quality of life, cost of living, where people don't have a lot of encore en français, moyens, the budget, the means to purchase more. It can be individuals, it can be NGOs, it can be anything that will benefit from that. This is one thing. Apart from that, of this circular economy, a lot of people will benefit from it. It can be developers like our friend from Kenya who is here, thank you for being there. And also people from creators like the Création can be part of this, can produce bags that can, once you get the laptop, sometimes you get the laptop without the bag. So we can collaborate with these artists like creators like the Création who is here, to create other products. So that circular economy not just reduce waste, but at the same time create opportunities at large. So without, I would like to thank everyone, every partners. I can't be so thankful to have the presence of everyone, Google and so on, especially the group, Carnegie Group, Intel and so on, but everyone at every level, the speakers, the MC and so on. So I had to skip the part of Candice, which is very important, to understand how Google put in place education, so that people can access these devices with only a Gmail account, which is free, and the OS is free for the basic part, so that this can empower at large. Let's Candice share with us in a few minutes how the training that Google is putting in place to empower more and more. Candice, the floor is yours.
Awesome, thank you so much. Hi everybody, my name is Candice, and I look after change management and training, and I work with over 100 partners across Africa, and we focus largely on Google for Education. So how does it work when you're taking a Chrome OS, a Flex device into your school, a business, or even a university? What we're really thankful about is that you have a local partner in Francois that has got all of the Google's change management methodology that you will need. They call it an adoption kit. And what's beautiful is, and I'm actually going to just share on my screen quickly, just some of the posters as an example of, let's say you decide to take a business or a university and you decide to use Flex devices. Google provides you with resources, things you can use as posters, as messaging, emails you can send out to say, hey, we're going to be using these awesome sustainable devices, and how are you going to prepare the users? You can do things like this. So on the screen here, you'll see this is part of the adoption toolkit that Francois would make available, obviously with training as well. So the sort of messaging you'd want to put out there to a school, a university, or a business who's going onto Google. These are like, I'm going to give you some screenshots of these posters or flyers you could use. So the first one is the base of Google built in. It's switching time. Remember, they're switching to a new OS. And what's beautiful about what France was even highlighting is that you are using the base of Google. And it's important to note that it's not just the Flex device, it's the stays fast. It was showcased by France was so beautifully. Whenever you take a business or a school university onto a Flex device, you're making sure they know, guys, the power of this device and also is in its speed. It's amazing. They're not going to waste a lot of time. Then I'm just going to do another, I think there's another 4 where it goes, no lost files, it's switching time. So obviously Francois, as a local partner, will provide training. There's a lot of courses, even ones that are specialized for educators on how to use Chromebooks, and the courses are free and provided by Google as well. You'll see that no lost files, it's switching time. When you work on a Chromebook or on a Chrome OS device, what happens is you are working in the Chrome browser, which means that you're working in the cloud. And the beautiful thing is, even though you're working on a browser in the cloud, you have offline capability. And that is within Google Workspace. So your Gmail, your Google Drive, and even your Google Calendar can be accessed offline. What does that mean? Students like myself, educators, businesses, can join me. I haven't lost a file in 5 years since working on Google and on Chrome because I'm working in the cloud, and it even does it offline. And then the other one, when you're doing training and all of that, you're going to highlight to everyone, built-in virus protection. No one has to wait for the antivirus software to upload. The users are going to go, what? I don't have to worry about antivirus anymore. Don't worry about it. The device is Flex. Google's got your back. Google's going to worry about all the antivirus and all of that. The users love it, and it's such an awesome way when you tell them, guys, we're switching together. And then just the 2 last ones, and I did allude to this earlier, no holdups when you book time. It's booking time. Guys, you're going to train the user how to work in the cloud. When you go Google and Chrome OS, it is beautiful. The fact that people now realize I can go in the cloud, I can even work offline, no matter where I am. And just to highlight one excellent point here, from my personal usage, and this is why the training aspect is so important, for me, if I lose my Flex device or the Chromebook that I work on, it doesn't matter. I can literally switch devices, because in a Chromebook on a Flex device, all I do is I sign into the Chrome browser, and boom, I'm into my device. So it doesn't matter which device I'm on anymore. I can switch it because it's all in the cloud, and it doesn't actually matter which device I'm on. I just sign in with Google and I'm in. It's beautiful. And then the last one is, which Francois didn't mention, is the battery life. Users are absolutely going to love the fact that the battery life goes on and it's powered up. And the last thing is, and especially Francois, I'm handing back over to you, is this. When you work on a fixed device, like Francois was showing you, there is a massive moment for every student, teacher, a business owner, is that they get to operate their business on the world's leading browser, the Chrome browser. And this is where the magic comes in on a Flex device, is that the users are familiar with it and it's intuitive. Remember, 3 billion people use Chrome. And that is why when you open up a Flex device, you open up your Chrome browser and you can access all of the cloud applications. It's amazing. So please do work with Francois for the training that's available and to make use of Google's change management methodology to help the users that might be just going, how does a Chrome OS device work? And you need to hold their hand a little bit. Over to you, Francois.
Thank you very much, Candice. I think we're closing now. You need to thank everyone here. So thank you very much, Candice, for this presentation, for this quick, you had to adjust to the children time. So as you have seen that there's a lot of technologies there's a lot of way that the device can be upscaled and be useful for many. The use is huge for a lot of, to empower individuals, SMEs, businesses, and so on. So in the world where we need also to work remotely, so during the pandemic, there was a lot of challenges, how to work remotely. This is a big challenge. So just imagine all these laptops that are cluttering, thrown away, can empower a lot of people in education everywhere. So I would like, I'll hand over to the MC and for the closing note and the thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Francois. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving our speakers and all our online participants a warm round of applause for their contribution in this momentous occasion. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here this morning to support the Reuse to Revamp initiative and its mission to build a more sustainable future. Thank you for your attention and see you soon. Group photo, please. So if you can all come forward.
Okay. My ex-boss from the Board Investment want to say something.
As a matter of fact, whilst we're all gathering in front, I would just like to say how impressed and how I've seen Francois, we met in 2005 when I was in a different world, in a different job. But it's interesting because we got some of the Google people here. And in 2007, 2008, I can't remember, 2009, yeah. We went to Silicon Valley to see Google. And when to see Google, people say, well, what are you going to talk to them about? You say, well, we don't know. We haven't figured it out yet. So they started showing us this delegation, the door, the gate, what they did, what they didn't do. And suddenly we said, my God, we started speaking French. We said, oh my God, what are we going to do now? And suddenly this lady who was giving us this tour turned out to be Canadian. And she said, oh my God, you speak French? And we said, yes. So, you should have told me. I said, well, we didn't know. So we went, and everything changed from that day. And Google said to us, okay, so what can we do? So we started with some cache servers, right, initially. And then we had a big event at one cyber city where Google sent some of their leading technicians to actually showcase the tools. And then we kicked off with some entrepreneurs. But at the same time, we sent all the maps, the cadastral maps of Mauritius to Ahmedabad when they were doing the digitalization, So when people say, well, we've got GPS, yeah, okay, so how does Google know where Rue de Madame Lave, Washerwoman Street is in Port Louis, So all of those things were being done without people realizing. And I must say, when I saw Francois on CNN one day, I was just like watching CNN, And I said to my wife, hey, this is Francois. We were so happy, so pleased, and to see from where you came from. But, it's in terms of what you've done and what you are showing all of us today. I think it's a tremendous, and I would like to thank you for the country and for all of us. Thank you very much.
I would like to say something very important. So, not so emotional because, it's a long way, we need to say that, Mr. Jadou forgot to say that we were celebrating the Google birthday on that day at the event. And we need to just remind everyone that yesterday, Google celebrated the 25th anniversary yesterday. So I think it's a celebration day so that we are celebrating together because it's a major step for the country and for the continent and for the community at large. So thank you very much for being there, for supporting this project. This is a first step. And also to thank the US Embassy, also who were also featured in the CNN, by the way, documentary. And because the AfriEDX initiative started with only 3,000 USD project. People told me that we will not go far with this project. last week we participated in the Climate Launchpad together with a few friends here. We didn't won. We did not won, but we cried. We were very disappointed, and quote unquote, because we invested a lot of time, but we won a lot because we learned a lot. And today it's a celebration. And I would like to thank also my friend and accountant, Mr. Feroz, who's here, my friend Pavadeo, so who work a lot. The PR, sorry if I forgot the name of the people to thank, because a lot of things to people to, because this is very emotional. So thank you very much. This is just the beginning. There's a lot more to announce. I have a lot of great projects coming up, a lot of things. Stay in touch with us. We will keep you up to date, and you will see yourself that we mean business. We are here to work together. Thank you very much for your time. Yes. Maybe Marianne to say something, because because I forgot. There's a lot of things. The program changed a little bit because we had to move, because the minister had to there's another commitment. But we are starting the project, a pilot project with Will Fly, represented today with the president, Mrs. Marianne Lagan. We'll start the pilot project. So we will invite MCB. We want to be part of this, because we'll need funding. Because this is a project we need to sustain. We need to thank MTEL also for who will be a partner with the collecting of laptops. So thank you very much. Thank you, Milan, for being there to speak. I asked her to join us. She accepted voluntarily. So thank you very much.